Hey hustler, congrats on landing your interview. In this video tutorial, I'll show you exactly how you can prepare for your interview so you get moved to the next round and then eventually land the job offer. Let's start. So, our interview prep process is based on our interview preparation document where we follow a 7-step process so that you go into the interview feeling extremely confident. That's what the goal is, right? And that's the secret to acing interviews. Cool. Let me just run you through the interview prep document really briefly. This is how it should look like. And whenever you land an interview, you want to go here, go to file, and then make a copy. That's how simple it is, right? So there's 7 steps, and this is how it should look like. For each step, we've literally laid out the exact steps you need to follow. Um, and then also we use a lot of ChatGPT to help us, save time. We don't use ChatGPT completely, but we use ChatGPT to save time, to do more of the manual work. Cool. So let's start, right? Before you start preparing for your interview, it's very important to understand what UK employers exactly are looking for when they're hiring. So there's 3 things, right? The first thing and the most important thing UK employers are looking for is likability, right? Especially at the graduate stage when you're applying for jobs, they're not really hiring you based off of your degree or your skills. They're mostly going to be hiring you, an international student, based off of how much they like you, right? It's super important because they're going to train you up from scratch anyways, so they have to like you. That's the first thing. Second thing they're going to be hiring you off of is obviously your skills as well. Although I said likability is more important, that's true. Obviously you have to have the right skills to do the job, right? So if you're applying for sales, you need to be target driven, you need to be persistent, you need to be motivated, you need to be a very, very good communicator. That's a given, right? So can you actually do the job? And the third thing is loyalty as well. When UK companies are hiring graduates, they're making an investment, right? It's not really the salary that's the biggest investment, it's the time investment they make in their people. So you need to show that you're going to stay there, you're going to be loyal, because that's the biggest risk for those companies, that you're going to get trained in a year or 2 years and then leave. They want you to stay there for 5, 10 years so that they can, get as much value as they can from you. Cool. So these are the 3 things UK employers are looking for, and this is what I've learned over 7 years applying for jobs myself, helping other people get jobs. So it's super important you understand these 3 things, right? And our interview preparation document here helps you meet each of these 3 criteria in a personalized way, right? So likability, skills, and loyalty, the whole 7-step process is built to optimize on these 3 things UK employers look for. Cool. So as I said earlier, the secret to acing interviews is feeling confident. How do you actually feel confident? You feel confident by preparing, by following this 7-step process. That's how simple it is. Before we actually start, it's important to understand our results, right? Over 1,000 students, international students, have followed our exact processes and hundreds of landed jobs, right? Our average salary of the students that work with me is 30K. We've got salaries like close to 50K. Arti, that's the job she got. And then Maria, who got a 25K job. So this process works for all entry level jobs that you're applying for as an international student, right? And in terms of like how long it took on average for these students to get jobs, average 30 days, right? These are the students that work with me one-on-one. Obviously, it varies, right? Maria got a job in 7 days. Piyush here got a job in like 60 days. So it really varies, right? But if you follow this process, for each interview you get, chances are very likely you'll get a job sooner or later, right? You just got to follow this process to the T. Follow every step, and your chances are going to be maximized. Cool. So there are 7 steps, but I've broken it down into 3 parts, right? In a nutshell, you're collecting information, which is part A. Once you get that information, you apply that information to your interview prep. That's part B. And part C is post interview actions. What do you do after the interview? That's very important as well. Most people do A and B, right? And they forget about C. The beauty of acing an interview is not just the interview itself, it's what you do after the interview. And I'll get to that towards the end. So make sure you listen to this video and you're making notes till the end. Yeah. So 3 parts, right? Collecting information, applying information to interview prep, and post interview actions, right? Within each part, basically all you're doing is you're getting, within part A, you're getting all the information you need from the hiring manager. That's step 1, from other people who work at the company, and also from the internet, so that you can use that information in part B, which is all you need to do to prepare for the interview. That's analyzing the job description, then preparing basic questions, and then also preparing questions to ask the interviewer. The difference between step 5 and step 6 is step 5 is preparing answers to basic questions, and step 6 is preparing questions you're going to ask. Very important, because step 6 most people get wrong because they don't understand how important it is to ask the right questions, right? And I get to that towards the end as well. Cool. So let me start with part A, right? Your goal within part A is to collect all the information you can so that you prepare for the interview effectively, right? So what's step 1? Step 1 is actually, as soon as you land the interview invite, you want to email the hiring manager, right? And what I mean by emailing the hiring manager is you want to literally tell them, this is how I'm preparing for the interview. Is there anything in particular you suggest I prepare for? This is what Diana did. They literally told her exactly what questions to prepare for. So they told her literally to prepare for competency questions. They told her to prepare for going through the job description. They also told her to, think of some real life examples of challenges she's faced. And she did that. And eventually she got the job. That's how powerful it is as well. If you look at the interview prep document here as well, there's literally a template you can copy paste as soon as you land the interview. You don't reply to the email that you get from the HR manager or hiring manager about the interview invite. Very important you do this because they're going to give you the exact steps you need to take to actually apply to your interview prep, right? Super important. That's step one. Step two is once you've got information from the hiring manager, you need to understand you also need to get information from other people who work at the company, right? So they're going to give you liquid gold advice on exactly what they did to get the job. So, for example, Aisha here, she emailed 20 people and messaged around 10 to 15 people at the company she was applying for, which is World 50, and they gave her really, really good tips. Like this person, Pavitran over here, literally, she sent a 50-word email saying, "Hi, Pavitran, hope this email finds you well. I'd love any interview tips. Thank you, best Aisha." It's literally less than 50 words, and he sent like a 200-word email saying, you should prepare for this, you should prepare for your knowledge about the things happening in the business world, blah, blah, blah. And she just followed that, and she got the job. And she's in it now as well. She's already gotten massive bonuses as well. So that's how easy it is, right? Right, guys. 20 people on email, 10 people on LinkedIn. It won't take you more than 2 hours, but it will completely change the way you prepare for your interview. That's step two. Step three is once you've got that information, you also want to research about the company. So there's 7 things I've got listed out here about the company, the mission, its values, culture and values, recent news, that's number 4, products, market, trends and competitors, and then lastly studying the interviewers, right? Sounds like a lot. I'd recommend researching at least 3 out of 7 of the below. But to make your life easier, what I've actually done is on the interview prep document, if you go here, all you need to do is you need to copy paste this over here into GPT, right? And then GPT will give you the exact information you need about the company, right? So pay attention closely here, right? Once you've copy pasted all of this, right? Everything in green we want to replace. Red we don't change. So let's actually do it together, right? So step 1 is go to GPT and paste information below after adding relevant information. So the relevant information is the stuff in green. So let's copy paste it. Copy paste it here. Let's use an example of UP Fitness and a company that my candidate is interviewing at right now. He has his final interview next week and he'll probably get the job. It's a 55K job, right? So UP Fitness. Boom, that's the website. So the first thing we need to copy paste. So the first thing in green is actually copy pasting the text from the homepage. Super simple. All you got to do is go to the homepage, right? So click on the homepage, Command A, and then Command C. If you've got Windows and Control A, Control C, and copy paste that here, replace this bit here. So it says copy and paste the text from the homepage of the website, paste here. Now you've got copy and paste the text from the about page of the website. All you need to do is you need to go to YUP. So that's about the company. And you're going to have to apply a bit of intuition here. And on some company websites, they might say why, whatever, or on some company website, it might say about us, right? So you need to apply a bit of intuition. So then same, Command A, Command C, boom, let's paste it here. Then we've got copy and paste the text from the services/product pages of the website. So what do you do here? All you got to do is you got to go to, let's say over here, personal training is a product they sell, right? So it really depends on what they sell. If they're selling, I don't know, conductors or car parts, you click on, the link there that says our products or the parts that they're selling, right? Then all I do is Command A, Command C, boom, paste it here. Boom. Next, you've got copy and paste the text from the blog/news/media relations page of the website. So over here, they've literally got a tab that says blog. Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you're going to flick around and stuff. It might say blog, it might say news, it might say us in the media or whatever, but apply a bit of intuition, as I said. And then you go here, all you got to do is Command A, Command C. Let me go back here. Sorry. Command A, Command C, paste that here. And then lastly, you've got, search for name of company 2024 on Google and go to the news section. If there's anything noteworthy, copy paste each article. So what would I do? I would search UP Fitness Gym 2024, and then I would go to news, and then see if there's anything relevant. And if you can't find anything, that's fine as well. But usually, if it's quite easy, if it's got a big company, you like the first or second link will have information about the company, right? That's all you need to do. So you can skip it, right? If you find something, that's fine, but this is more of a bonus, right? Once that's done, all you need to do is replace this last bit, which was company name and then position. As simple as that, right? So because you're telling GPT that you have an interview coming up. So Zach here, who's interviewing this company, has this interview coming up at UP Fitness, and I need to get prepared. It's for the sales manager position. Boom. Once you tell GPT this, everything else is in red. You don't need to change anything else, and you press enter. And then you wait for GPT to do its magic. Simple as that. Might take a while, but oops, it's taking its time. So I'll probably fast forward for this to be done, but it might take like a minute or so. It depends on what GPT you've got. I've got GPT-4, so it's a bit slower because it goes into a bit more depth. But even like the free version of GPT will get you enough information to actually ace the interview, to be honest. Cool, we're done. All you got to do now is copy paste all of this onto your interview prep document. As simple as that. Boom. So I would go, and then it says step 2, copy paste the output GPT gives you in your interview prep document below. And boom, you paste it here. Simple. It's done. That's step 2. Cool. So once you've copy pasted the information about the company down below here, as I did earlier, you want to make sure then you move on to step 3, which is now you need to use this GPT prompt here to get information on the interviewer, right? Super important, right? All you need to do is, let's say, go to LinkedIn, right? And you want to search the interviewer's name up. So let's say, Zach here is interviewing. Then let's say Zach is interviewing with, I think he's interviewing with Ben or someone. So let me search Ben really quickly. Boom. So let's say he's interviewing with Ben Gordon, this guy. All you need to do is go to this person's profile, click on, obviously, there should be a Seymour here, but his experience is pretty limited. Also, his profile hasn't got much, so I need to pick probably someone else, right? So I'll probably pick this guy, Michael Lee, right? And he's got some information, but not a lot. But all you need to do is go to this person, your interview's profile, Command A and Command C. That's it. You want to copy all of the information from their LinkedIn, boom, and then paste it here on GPT, boom. And the prompt above it is just this: please provide important details about the interviewer. See below from the text from the LinkedIn profile. And you go to the top. Boom. So now it's going to give some really, really good pointers about your interview's background, and you can bring them up in conversation. You can be like, oh wow, so I saw that you were at PwC for 4 years. I was actually at KPMG. So I would say that because I worked at KPMG. Or even if you didn't work at those companies, you can be like, oh, my best friend works at PwC or EY. I've heard they're really intense, but you learn a lot. And then that's how you can make conversation, right? So all you need to do is, once this is done, you want to copy paste this onto your interview prep document. So let's wait a minute or two for GPT to just process it. All you need to do is copy paste this onto your interview prep document, and you want to paste it below, like the information you had about the company, and then you'll have like 2 pages of about the company and then about the interviewer. And if you just read through that before your interview, you're going to be miles ahead of your competition. That's how easy it is. Yeah. Let me just Command Z that to make sure the template is clean. Cool. So let's move on, right? That's step 3. So now you're done with part A, which is you've got all the information you need to now move on to applying that information to your interview prep, right? Cool. So part B is now applying the information to your interview prep, right? So now we're moving on to step 4, step 5, and step 6. And all of these are super important. But what most people get wrong is actually step 4. They don't really analyze the job description. Let me walk you through exactly how you can analyze a job description, so you know exactly what you're signing up for and you know the role inside out when you walk into the interview. Cool. So step 4 is analyzing the job description, right? And what you need to understand is the job description is the Bible. And all of my most successful students would thoroughly study the job description before every interview, right? And you need to understand it. You need to know it like the back of your hand before sitting an interview, right? So Here's what Diana said, right? Diana would analyze every job description before her interview, and in her own words, she literally said that analyzing the JD helped in my interview so much. I felt so prepared and had examples for everything they brought up related to the job. So, how do you actually analyze the job description? All you need to do is copy and then paste the job description onto the interview prep document. As simple as that, right? But it doesn't end there. You want to break it down line by line, right? And once you break it down line by line, you want to relate everything on the job description through either personal experience or work experience, right? I know it sounds like a lot, but there's also a GPT prompt I perfected over a year of trial and error that you can use to help you, but it still won't do all of the job. You still need to do a bit of the work, right? So, let's start with how do you relate personal experience. So I've got some examples here of Maria, but the job description, for example, here said they want someone that can take ownership from day one and doesn't shy away from taking responsibility. What she did was she related her university extracurriculum experience with the job description. So everything in red here is what was on the job description, and everything below it is what she wrote, right? So literally what she did is she said, since middle school, I've always been involved in extracurriculars and have most recently held positions as the president of the Latin American Society and treasurer of Multicultural Society. So I would actually enjoy the responsibility as opposed to some graduates that prefer more a set amount of responsibility. That shows that not only can she take ownership, but actually she likes ownership. And that's what you want to do. For each example here, you can pause this video and read the rest, but it's very important that you're relating with personal experiences so that you show you're really relevant for the job. And guess what? Maria actually got the job in 7 days of starting working with me. She did this for she only had one interview, but this is the process she followed, right? So this is for personal experiences, right? But then a lot of you guys can also relate work experiences as well. So it can be full-time work in your home country, it could be an internship, or it can even be part-time work as well here in the UK. So I can walk you through one example, but this an example of one of my candidates that I worked with in March last year, and the job description said they wanted someone with Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Power BI experience. Right below it, what she writes is, I used Microsoft Excel and EY to analyze statements, build financial models, and conducted financial data analysis as part of my risk management module where I scored it first. So not only does she talk about how she used Microsoft Excel and Power BI in her previous role, she also talks about how she did it as part of her module, as part of university. In theory, this should have been here, but you get the point, right? There can be a blend of work experience and then like personal kind of academic experience as well. But you want to do this for the whole job description, right? And this is how it looks in action, right? So the job that Zach is applying for is a sales manager ultimate performance, right? So if I go to ultimate performance, then go to jobs, there should be a sales manager role here. Boom. All you want to do is copy paste all of it on the job description. Boom. Paste it here and then break it down. That's what he did. Break it down like that. And then everything you write can be a sub bullet point. And that's just evidence of how you meet the job description, if that makes sense, right? And this is how Zach's interview prep document looks in action. And he passed the interview as well. He's at the final stage now as we speak. It's on the 10th of April. See, so red is the job description and black is what he wrote. So we're seeking a highly motivated and results-driven sales manager to join our dynamic sales team. And then his bullet points here, how example of how he's highly motivated and then an example of how he's results-driven. So basically, that's what you need to do. And that's what my students did manually for a year. But you can use ChatGPT to do it. All you need to do is you need to copy paste all of this here. It's on the interview prep document. So I should probably get rid of this here. And you want to copy paste all of this and only replace the job description and then your CV text here. You get your CV text by Command A and then Command C, all of your CV text, right? And then GPT will give you a really, really, really good 1 to 2 pager of like how your experience can relate with the job description, and then you just go through it, and then wherever it gives you suggestions, because in the prompt ask it to give suggestions, you just fill in the suggestions. That's how easy it is. Hope that makes sense, right? But there's a manual way to do it and there's a GPT way to do it as well. I suggest using the GPT way, starting with GPT and then building from that. So it'll take you 5 minutes to get the information from GPT and then 1 hour to then tweak what GPT has. You want to personalize it a bit more. Cool. So I'm not going to run you through it, but you get the gist of it, right? Similarly, once you've analyzed the job description, now you'll understand exactly what the job requires. Now, what's super duper important is to then prepare answers to these three basic questions. Most students over prepare, they try and prepare for every interview question. I've had so many students from India and Pakistan, and they have like a list of 30 questions. They're trying to prepare answers for each of them. You can't do that, guys. If you prepare for just these three questions, I can guarantee you'll get the job as long as you do a good job. Every student I work with only aced these three questions and they analyzed the job description and they got the job. That's it. They analyzed the JD and prepared for these three questions. These are the only two things they did and they got the job. Because when you analyze the job description, a lot of the questions that come over there, you can improvise then. You don't have to memorize the answers. So it's so important to analyze the JD. Yeah. So three questions here are tell me about yourself, why this role, why this company. You've probably heard these two, and a lot of people have heard these, but they have no idea how to actually answer the tell me about yourself question. What this actually is an elevator pitch, and they want you to summarize all of your professional experience to 60 to 90 seconds, making you very, very relevant to show you're really relevant for this job. In simple terms, that's what they're looking for. So a format I've got here is this. You start with introducing yourself, then you talk about your first relevant experience and the learnings from that. Then you talk about your second relevant experience and the learnings from that. Then why you came to the UK, and then finally why this role in company. Sounds like a lot, I know, but this is more about think of this as your timeline, right? It doesn't have to be in this order. Three and four are interchangeable. And it can even be that you start with introduce yourself and then you talk about why you came to the UK and then your two experiences, because both of your experiences might be in the UK. But for most people, their experiences are India based or Pakistan based or wherever they're from. So, most importantly, what you need to understand here is you're talking them through your story. If you can talk them through your story and they can understand why you're applying for this role, they're much more likely to trust you. So, it's summarizing everything you've done in 60, 90 seconds. Sounds like a lot, but I'll walk you through an example here. Aisha here said this exact elevator pitch when she got asked, so Aisha, tell me about yourself. And she got the job. She's getting promoted now as well. She started in July last year, right? So what she also did, interestingly enough, is she got keywords that she got from when she was analyzing the job description and she spread them across the elevator pitch here. So from the job description and from the part A bit where she was collecting information, she learned that they're really, really obsessed with supporting world leaders. So throughout the job description, throughout the elevator pitch, all she says is, I learned quite a lot about how world leaders make decisions, understood how world leaders make decisions here, and she spreads it all across her answer here. Right? That's what she said. So if I was Aisha and I was asked, tell me about yourself, this is how I would answer this question. I would say, hi, my name's Aisha. It's lovely to meet you. I completed my bachelor's in public administration, where I learned quite a lot about how world leaders make decisions that affect billions of people. During my undergraduate degree, I managed to secure a super competitive internship at the World Bank, where I understood how world leaders make decisions. Right after graduating, I worked as a client communications trainee at a multinational. Here, I led a team and successfully tendered and negotiated a client's contract worth 250K, resulting in a successful win. Right after this, since I was self motivated and driven, I launched my luxury clothing brand and grew it very fast in a short period of time. I then negotiated profitable deals with hundreds of Instagram influencers, models, and actresses weekly, which increased sales by 30x. So after working for a while and since I was very curious, I applied to all the top UK universities and I was fortunate enough to receive an offer from the University of Liverpool for a master's in management where I received a future leader scholarship. The university paid for 100% of my tuition fees. And during university, I also worked part-time at Liverpool FC where I serviced over 400 customers in a fast-paced environment every day. So ever since I've graduated, I've only been looking for sales roles where relationship building is core. And when I saw this job description, I knew I ticked every box. I've got cold calling, cold email experience, and I've worked with high profile clients and I'm very self motivated. So I knew I had to apply. That's how powerful it is. That was how long? 90 seconds, 2 minutes. And she summarized her most relevant experiences and the impact she had. She increased sales here. She secured a contract here. And then lastly, she talks about why she came to the UK. She wanted to study at a top UK university. And then she summarizes how she's the perfect role. She's only been looking for sales roles. And literally everything she says here at the end, I've worked with high profile clients and I'm very self motivated. They multiple times say that in the job description. So it's not about what you want. You need to understand what the job description wants and then repeat exactly that to them. That's how you're going to show your relevance. So if you're worried about not being able to complete the elevator pitch, don't worry, we've got a GPT prompt here. All you need to do is you need to go here and copy paste all of this on the GPT, and then everything in green you replace. Simple. As simple as that. Make sure for every impact that you're inputting here, because everything in green you need to replace, in red you don't change, but everything in green you need to change. Make sure that you include a quantifiable outcome. So when I say quantifiable outcome, I mean you talk about like, what did you achieve? Did you increase sales by 30x? Did you negotiate a contract of 250K? Did you increase efficiency by 30%? So include some numbers there, very important. And then GPT is going to give you a very good draft. And obviously you can take that draft and your coach could help you improve it. But this is a good starting point. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. And then once you've done that, all you need to do is you need to personalize it a bit further and then practice your elevator pitch out loud and to ensure it sounds natural and engaging. And you can practice that with your coach as well. Cool. That's what you need to do for your elevator pitch. Next, you've got why this role. In a nutshell, why this role is showing that you can actually do the job. So let's think of it high level. What it means is you need to choose 2 to 3 job requirements that the role needs, and it's usually in the job description. And you want to give examples of how you actually have that as a strength. And then you want to give examples of how you've displayed this in your past experiences, right? Cool. Once you've perfected your elevator pitch, you'll probably be asked, why do you want to work in this role, or why this role is as how we say. In a nutshell, all you want to do is you want to choose the top 2 to 3 job requirements needed for the role, and you want to give examples of how you've actually displayed this in your past experiences. When I say display this, I mean how you've actually shown that you meet the requirement, right? And usually these job requirements will be on the job description. They'll say they want someone that's target driven, they want someone that can understand Power BI, they want someone that's really good with Excel, and you literally give them examples of how you've used those tools or how you've demonstrated those skills in the past. That's how it is in a nutshell, right? So how do you actually answer this question? I mean, what you want to do is always make it personal to you. Don't just say I'm hardworking. Say I'm hardworking. When I was at university, I would work 20 hours a week part time, study for 40 hours a week, and also manage my side business. That's how you show you're hardworking. So never ever say something without giving an example. That's the first thing. The second thing you want to do is you want to speak with passion and energy. I could say, yeah, I also manage my side hustle. That's low energy. But if I say, I used to manage my side hustle whilst I was studying over 50 hours a week for one of the hardest courses known to humankind, which is mechanical engineering, they're going to believe you much more if you speak with energy. So do not sound monotonous or do not speak with low energy. Very important. So the last thing you want to do is you want to show you've done your homework. And how do you actually do that? You do that by throughout your answers, you sprinkle little bits of research you've done from part A. That's how you show you've done your homework. Cool. So here's an example of what Aisha wrote down here. She picked target driven, passion for learning, and relation builder from the job description. I can show you really quickly here as well. If I were to search World 50, that's the company she works at. And then they probably still have the job up. If I were to search target driven here, like literally they want someone that can hit targets and then exceeding targets. They have this here. Cool. Another thing they have is passion for learning. I think passion for learning was literally on the job description. Passionate about making a significant impact. Hunger for learning and development. Right? You can tweak the words a bit, but ideally you want to use the exact words they use. So this was done last year in like June. Back then I was still learning as well, but now I'm a much better coach. So hopefully you get the point, right? You want to get 3 literary requirements they have about the role from the job description, and then give examples of how you displayed this, right? Of your past experiences in the cool. You can also use GPT to help you get a really good answer. And all you need to do is you need to go here, why this role, copy paste all of this, and literally just enter in the job description. So copy paste the job description and then copy paste your CV text, and then GPT will do its magic. And then once you'll have an answer, you can improve it, but try and get your answer to look like what Aisha's got here. Cool. Cool. So now we got why this company. And it's similar to how you answer why this role, but now you get reasons about the company and you give examples, but the reasons now are about the mission and values of the company. Very important. So, and you can find them through research or through the job description. In most cases, you find them through research, right? So, what do I actually mean by actually reason and then personal example? I mean, basically, a reason you want to join a company could be that you like their collaborative culture. So that's what Aisha liked, right? Or it could be you love the mission of the company, right? So she found that they have a really, really collaborative culture because they want to help world leaders do better. So if you actually show that you're aligned with the mission, they're gonna be like, wow, this person actually fits really well in our company ethos. So what she wrote down is she says, for my research, I found that World 50 is known amongst its users for being very collaborative and supportive. And this is an environment I know I thrive in. And then boom, she hits them with the personal example. She says, I used collaboration to strike hundreds of deals and grow my luxury dresses business. So I see the value and can see myself thriving at World 50. That's a personal example. You can do this for two reasons or three, but do it properly. Link it with a personal story of yours. Cool? And you can also use ChatGPT as well. All you need to do is you need to go to the interview prep document and then copy paste all of this and just replace um, about the company section here and then CV text. That's it. Cool? Once that's done, now you've prepared for the, if you think of it high level, you've prepared the elevator pitch, you've prepared an answer to why this role, also you've prepared an answer to why this company. Now you're pretty much done. Now you need to prepare questions that you're going to ask the interviewer. And I've seen the number one mistake international students make is that they don't prepare questions to ask. And the a biggest red flag as a recruiter is if I ask a candidate, cool, so have you got any questions? And they say, nope, no questions. And that's so bad because it shows lack of curiosity. And especially if you're a graduate, they want people that are curious, that are thinking, and that are really, really excited about the prospect of joining their company. And if you're not excited about joining their company, then they're not going to hire you. And one way to show you're really excited about the company is not just saying, I'm really excited. It's about asking the right questions based off of the research you've done. So I recommend 3 questions on the interviewer, 3 questions on the company, and 3 questions about the role. And I've got some good or bad questions here, and you can look at these, but high level, you want to make sure that you break it down like this. This is what I've learned, what works the best. Cool. So I've got some examples here of good versus bad questions. High level, what you want to make sure is when you're asking questions, you want to show you've done your research, right? Don't just ever say you don't have any questions. I've said that before. I'm saying that again. So an example here I've got is a question that Avraj asked, and he got to the final round, fifth round of Uber Eats. He didn't get the job eventually, but he got another job that paid higher because he asked questions like these. So an example question he asked that they really praised him on, they said they loved his curiosity. He said, I've read that you've recently partnered with Waitrose. What is your partnership strategy to secure partnerships with such big grocery chains? Right? So that shows you've done your research, right? Another example here is you want to show curiosity. So this is not even based off of research. You can just say, can you tell me more about the team I'll be working with or the company? Don't just ask, do you have any flexibility on salary? That just shows you're like literally not in it for the right reasons. Also, you can ask something personal as well. You can ask them, oh, I saw you recently joined the company. What motivated you to join? Or what's been your favorite day so far? Or what's been your favorite piece of work you've been working on? You know, here's some more examples of Maria and Aisha. You can pause the video and watch them. But basically, Maria asked a question based off of the interviewer, and Aisha asked a question about the company, right? Cool. That's basically it. Once you've done all of this, your interview is done. Please don't just sit there. And I've spoken to so many students from India and Pakistan, and all they do is just sit there and wait. And they're like, Faroon, like I had an interview, I haven't heard back. I was like, when was your interview? They say it was 10 days ago. I was like, you had your interview 10 days ago and you've not even sent a thank you email. They're like, nope, I just thought they'd like let me know. Oh, you don't get a job handed to you in a silver plate. You need to follow up with them. So you send a thank you email, which is you can use this template here. And then you also follow up with them 5 days after you send this email if you didn't hear back. Super important you do this, right? So the main thing about this email is you want to show that you've gone the extra mile when you wrote that email. So literally mentioning how you really liked your chat around. Let's say you guys talked about expansion to Tesco, and then Sainsbury's. Let's say you're applying to Waitrose. So you can literally say, thank you for your time earlier today. I really enjoyed our conversation, particularly around our chat about expanding to Tesco and Sainsbury's. Boom. And it can be anything you found genuinely interesting. There's going to be something about the conversation you liked. Include that in your answer. Cool. That's it. To recap, the steps to ace your interview is you collect information, it's part A, you get information from the hiring manager, from other people in the company, and then from your research. Then you apply that information to your interview prep, which is preparing for the answers, analyzing the job description. And then once the interview is over, you don't just stop there. You send a thank you email the same day. As soon as you have your interview, you send that 1 to 2 hours after the interview, and then you follow up. You keep following up once every 5 days. I should have that on the slides. Cool. I know this is a lot, but if you follow these steps and then you come to your coach with your interview prep document filled out, I can guarantee you your chances of landing the job are 10 times higher. You'll probably land the job if you follow this properly. So I wish you all the best and happy interviewing.